even because
Okay, stop. All right, I can
it's a stable pick. It's a stable pick. I mean, they do have the Nyx and Lina. I think two heroes that are classically good versus Storm. Storm becomes good against Lina at some point when he gets jumper. But we'll see how it works out. They have very low team fight on Tundra, and they have a lot of team fight on T-Liquid. So even if they're down gold after lanes, they can always win this game.
Who do you guys favor then, though? I mean, I'm kind of hearing that you both are sticking with the Tundra prediction for game one here. Is that a fair assessment?
Kind of feel if Tundra can emulate how EG played Brood TB, it's so terrifying. Your map feels so small, and even if you have Death Ball, it's so hard to cut through that. But if Liquid can cut through that, you know, Storm and jumping the Luna, the Aegis, like they have a good shot. But like, I'm very scared about what Brood TB can bring to the game. You know, 15-20 minutes plus.
And for me, Team Liquid, they have to. I think they need to win top, and they need to do a bit better than average in the Storm versus Lina matchup. And if that happens, I think their lineup is way more robust than Tundra's. Tundra's has like Broodmother, Nyx, bottom, Lina. Like there's no team fight. It's only Terrorblade. So Tundra are banking. Like if they do well in lanes, I think Tundra's lineup will take over the game really well. And I think they will. So I'll go with Tundra, but I don't think this draft is that far away.
Okay, well that should be an
60-40?
exciting game then. What you gonna say percentages, T?
Yeah, I thought I'd throw a 60-40 just as a closing point. Sorry, don't know why I needed to say that. It felt right in the moment, you know. 60-40. Woo!
It's all good. It's all good. For me, 50-50. We'll see who takes the first game of this best of three. We'll see who woke up on the right side of the bed. We're gonna find out together with OD Pixel and Paul.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game one of Tundra versus Liquid. What do you make of this? I feel this is a bit of a spooky game for Liquid. You're against this TB that's strong against the Luna in concept, and you're against the Brood. You have finished your lineup with the Storm, but there's a Nyx Assassin in the game, so not necessarily a free game for the Storm at all. Definitely something that Qualifiers going to have to look out for. It seems like there's a lot of counters that Tundra do have going for them this game.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing that I want to highlight from what Curtis was saying was the lack of team fight. You do look at Tundra's draft, and it is very just about, you know, winning the lanes, dominating lanes, and taking over map, and using these annoying heroes that can get into backline, annoying heroes that can get into just like sneaking around too. You have Nyx, you have Mirana ult, you have Broodmother. Great ways to get information of backline, so be able to get on top of these big team fight kings like Warlock. So that's where I feel like Tundra does have an edge to at least find that backline. But if they come out at an advantage out of lanes, I could see Liquid in a big problem. Like if they're just too far behind in golden levels, their heroes do require those levels to be able to come back in the game. This Brood could just have been too much for them to deal with.
Yeah, and you sort of agree with what Harry was saying when it comes to the matchup. They're going to want to look for, you know, to make sure that Luna doesn't have a bad time against the Brood scenario. Are we going to see some progression from Liquid in their lane setup?
I really hope they do. I think it's a really good idea just because it's like the double benefit. You give Boxy a better start of the game. You're going to be slowing down the Terrorblade. And then, sure, you might be a little bit lacking with levels. You're going to have to split up from that. But then you're not going to have this Brood that just takes over at this, like, 5-minute mark or something like that. Sure, he'll be able to take over, but Boxy's going to have a good game. At the very least, rather than being shut down. But yeah, let's say what setup they do have.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We did have a mild pause there, so apologies for that. But all the players now good to get on with the action. We get ourselves stuck into game one. Tundra.
Who do you like more? Whose draft do you like a little more on?
As I said, I've got to say Tundra's.
You're a little bit more on Tundra too, right?
Scary. I think TB kind of just wins games. I think Luna I'm still sort of on the fence about. And I'm a little worried for Qualifier trying to find the space on the map when this Nyx Assassin, you know, Fada and Snaking, these two, they're going to be hunting him down. We'll throw 9 in as well. That's 3 stuns already. Liquid starting off the action with a catch on to 33 Verifier. Might have a little bit of time. Is it going to be enough? He's into the trees. Have Liquid got anything more to throw out here?
Oh, he messed up.
He got the tree still able to put through towards the web. Obviously, he's going to have another spear if he wants to throw it blindly into the corner of the map, but he's not going to do so. So 33 will manage to get away there. That Verifier pretty much saving his life. Will manage to get away from that early smoke, that first move Liquid were trying to make before the game begins.
And we have 3 abilities skilled right away, right? So we have Spear, which hurts a little bit for laning phase. We also have Bushwhack, which I feel also it's mixed. I've seen people start with Bushwhack. I've also seen most talk about how they want to get a corner secure range creep. So, you know, now they did show that they did get those abilities. And 33, he'll heal back up. You know, this web regen, it will add up. It will give him back to almost full HP. And wow, I cannot believe that, like, you know, a Fairy Fire and a Wind Lace is what saves it. That little extra movement speed, that little extra heal is enough.
We'll see Boxy getting some value out of the
Nice.
anyway.
Another
Skeeter to the tree, pick up the bounty ring. Make sure to start with 2 for 2 on the bounties. Plays Boxy and Tiger will be up top. So it does mean that Mickey is going to be farming into this Brood Mirana lane, and is this just what sort of a lane that in the early levels, or just for the most of it, Brood is pretty considered pretty strong?
Yeah, Brood's gonna do very well. Mickey should be able to farm the first like 2-3 levels, but it just progressively starts to get worse. And then of course when 6 comes around, it's just over. You know, Luna has to completely leave the lane. And I'm just gonna be watching snaking too, because I'm watching Insania did not block the camp. So a hard camp is gonna be left available for snaking to arrow and to get some pulls off. So see if Insania makes the way over to block it now. So won't be able to block that. So that's open for Snay, which is usually pretty huge. That's one of the main things you want to do versus a Mirana.
Yeah,
Top we've seen
we sort of
some,
see
like,
blocked
lanes.
every time against those, you know, sort of heroes that utilize the big creep on the first round.
Yeah, usually you even see like double sentry wards bought out, but Insania did want to just get extra regen to be able to secure for Mickey. And I guess like being able to push the wave out constantly, maybe with fatal bonds is what he's looking at, because he's got clarities too. Usually your clarities are to heal your carry, but I guess they're really just trying to force the lane in so Mickey can't get pressured at all, which is a pretty interesting approach.
Yeah, maybe having some sort of ideas. The panel said, you know, Liquid, they're going to know about the Brood. You know, they've got one of the better Brood players on the squad. Probably being able to give the team the info to sort of say what messes with the Brood the most in the laning stage and allows the matchup to be playable against them.
blessings.
Yeah,
upon
and so that's why
loyal
Insania is saving the
warrior.
sentry. He's waiting to make sure he can unblock his camp rather than block camp. But that, you know, usually you do see the second sentry box, so you can do both. And yeah, just the constant pushing out of the wave is looking good for Mickey, starting 10 and 3. We look at mid, we haven't really given any attention to Qualifier, but doing well in the matchup also, 12-0.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Shoving the lane out. Top Skeeter. 9 for 1. Close.
Radiant's
as well
turret
in this
has been
matchup.
killed.
Then we do see Boxy, one of the most player combo, the Mars, of course. Even though he did take that bit of a break anyway during the, what we want to call a little bit of the Mars major, where Mars was picked like almost every game during the beginning of it. You know, Boxy wasn't there for it, so it would have an even higher number if he was there.
Take over the games. Sort of hitting his stride on the Mars.
Yeah.
Liquid looking
Dire's
towards
turret
that
has
happening
been
again here.
killed.
And watching, right now I'm watching Snaking's movements, stacking the camps, he's arrowing to make sure he keeps up his farm, and he's also checking runes. This is something really important I always point out about Snaking with Tundra, because I still don't see many 4 players do what he does, of just, he literally will just lead the lane to check the 2-minute rune, the 4-minute rune, the 6-minute rune every time, which is still a bit rare to say.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Snake catch the courier. Did manage to get the delivery done to Insania though, so still has that sentry ready. Troll around it.
And Mickey's chilling. Great start. Brood not getting slowed down either, but yeah, this is really good for Mickey. Getting that early 2 points in the blessing. He gets these early stat items too. And we'll be able to get his like level 4, level 5 online, and then just leave the lane probably from 33 and just swap. Probably, it depends on what all happens inside of the game, but eventually they do want to send Boxy down there to try to slow down the push. But that's as long as he's having a decent time in top. He doesn't want to just like ditch the lane.
Sure, because even with the push out of the fatal bonds, these two at the point they won't be able to counter the straight up pressure that the Brood can apply.
No, and then it's like your Warlock might just die. Like, I don't know if Insania even wants to play in the bottom lane once. So it's a bit of a scary game for me, for the Warlock in general. Fada.
Get him in, Tiger. We'll be able to find him. Sneak around the tree line, get that first blood here for Liquid.
Thanks.
Strong lane up top for sure. The Hoodwink plus the Mars, and also just with the Blightstone, this slight little extra bit, even though it's Terrorblade, he doesn't care so much. The support most definitely does. They've slowed down TB more than the Luna's being slowed down for sure.
Snaking. Doing a good job of sniping some couriers here and there. Top lane. Getting onto Skeeter. Tiger. Quite enough damage with the thwack alone, so Skeeter live another day here on this top lane.
And now they're very low on mana on Liquid. They have a ton of stuff coming out on the courier. I believe it's, yeah, raindrop, double regen for Taiga to keep himself up there.
Lane. very close. Well, Deny sort of there in the way of 9, but Qualifier a little bit ahead in the CS with the efficiency, farming that small camp on these early levels.
I think this is huge. On his up top, Fada, again, getting caught
Got
out.
the damage. The stick charges, Fada. Tiger, couple more hits. You can only get in the one. Time round, Fada able to make it away.
Yeah, I think it's pretty huge that Qualifiers done so well because, as I mentioned, Snaking has checked all the water runes, so he didn't get to fill up. So the fact that he's able to, maybe he's like slightly behind because it's small camp. Actually, he's ahead by 70. So yeah, he's ahead in the matchup when no one's checking his runes for him, and it's a Lina versus Storm. That's really good for Liquid.
Yeah, we've seen Storms get trashed by Lina straight in the matchup. Qualifiers going to be very happy with this outcome so far. And it's top lane this time round. They've got the damage. Another kill for Tiger. Some good early action here. Being able to bully Farter as the Nyx assassin, not really able to offer up too much now. Boxy and Tiger, they've got good control and damage. All 4 on both of them.
Oh, cool.
Struggle in this lane.
And Boxy's gone for just a straight Morbid Mask for sustain. We saw a lot of people at the Major just doing the Bring a Health. This is kind of a cooler approach. Because then you're going to eventually probably go for something like, I guess, like a Vlad's or maybe Satanic way later, depending how big you are. But yeah, that's neat.
Touch onto Skeeter. Skeeter's ready to turn here, popping the Metamorphosis, but Honor not quite back in time to set up with a stun. Be able to step away.
$1K lead after leans for Liquid. I think that's pretty big. I feel like Tundra set themselves up to have like these really strong lanes. Sure, Brood takes some time to kick in, but I think this is a great start. As Boxy, he does kick out.
This time round, they've got him. See the counterplay over Qualifier. He's going to be able to come in and help out, take down Fada. Towards Skeeter, but a little too low on the mana to go for anything else onto his Terrorblade. But watch the circle Metamorphosis going. Be a little careful how they're committing onto Skeeter.
It's Brood time.
To get themselves a kill on the board.
Mika's got to get the hell out of bottom, but he gets hit by the arrow.
They got him, Snay. Catches him just before the TP's out in time. So this is going to start to be the test, if we look at where some of these lanes start to fall apart. But this bottom half of the map, 33, as you said, didn't necessarily shut down the Luna in the laning stage, or at least the beginning of it all. But now it's at the point where you got to ask yourself, who's going to go down here? You said it might be Boxy. Boxy's still continue to play on this top lane, wanting to play into the face of the Terrorblade. But that really is going to leave this whole bottom half open for 33 to do as he wishes.
And then it's just going to be that space thing, just like Panel was talking about how EG did the Broodmother push Terrorblade. It's just going to be 33 and Snaking controlling this whole bottom side of this map as Terrorblade's able to farm the whole other side. So yeah, this is going to be something that Liquid has to come up with a plan for. So we'll see if they do look to move Boxy. Still 35 seconds on TP. Almost has ult available. Maybe wants to try to set up for a kill on Skeeter before he does get out, since meta is still down for about 50. He's got Sunder. He's got a point saved. So if they do go for it, they have to 100 to 0 him.
Playing it safe. He knows that they're going to be looking for that sort of opportunity, especially with Boxy staying up on this top half of the map.
Is under attack.
Farm elsewhere, CP9.
Radiant's bottom tower
yours.
has fallen.
Yep.
Attention round mid. Insania level 5, not quite got the 6. Huge part of the team fight. They're able to get that 6 ASAP on the Warlock.
And the wild thing too for Liquid, I think this is one of the rarest games I've seen that they've 0 stacks, by the way.
That's pretty unliquid.
It is.
That's certainly true. Past, they definitely have been the sort of squad to sort that out the best. So we'll get the pick off on Bottom, but yeah, you're right, Mickey is not going to have that early boost.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And here comes 33.
Radiant structure
pressure from bottom to mid. Sweeping over the 3 of them. Snaking and 9 backing them up. Snaking's going to TP back. Make sure that they don't throw any more pressure onto Skeeter. Over to the river, 33, get the kill. Box is going to drop the arena. It's not going to catch anyone at all. Tundra. Turn over towards Qualifier able to ball lightning out.
Dire's courier has been killed.
That's the arena used here. Nothing to be found for Liquid as Tundra starting to get active with their moves and motives across the map.
They need to get a ward to be able to watch this, like, this area, this high ground, I think. Even a ward on their high ground. It's already been sentryed to be able to get scouted, so maybe too difficult at this point. But they have to be able to get the vision of where these Tundra heroes are playing on the right side, which they just can't right now. And level 6 is still not there for either Tiger or Insania. Feels like they need the Golem to fully commit for this defense unless they're just going to park 4 bodies here.
Yeah, their 6 timings is just that much more important than loaders for Tundra. You know, sure, Tundra, it's nice to get the XP on the supports, but with the way that Liquid want to respond to these sort of pushes and pokes from Tundra, they've got to have the team fight together so they can really hit Tundra hard with the strength that they have in their draft.
Yeah, and Tundra, they recognize this. Like, they forced 4 heroes to the mid lane. They're like, okay, we're going to back away. That means our Terrorblade's now able to just chill inside of his jungle and get the free farm. 33 backs over and starts farming the Liquid side of the map too. So they're getting more out of the map right now. Mick is getting good farm, so is Qualifier, but you're watching Taiga and Boxy they have to just sit in the mid lane.
Lead that Liquid did have off the back of the lanes. Now starting to slip away. Tundra to take the advantage. Quick smoke and a TP from 9 as he heads down towards the bottom. This bots, he's ready to join forces with 33 at any possible time. Okay, that's cool. So that this is to control the map better. Because I feel like that's what they're feeling that's going to happen. They're going to get that tower advantage. They're going to be able to look for these kills. So I kind of like the bots approach rather than going for...
No te deja hacer nada.
Quite difficult to defend when Tundra does set up for it.
Dire's top
Look
tower
quite for a
is
mid
under
game.
attack.
Both cores here, ready for some action potentially, but Fada, he's got the stick with the Vendetta scouting this out. So sort of awkward moments here where both cores are not really able to be that efficient with the map itself. Leads to indeed Tundra just continuing to be much more efficiently split up, making even picking up some farm here on the top lane.
Boxy's got the blink, so now Liquid can make their own aggressive moves. Spiders will start hitting mid. Can't quite get the rebuke onto them.
Allies, Radiant are scanned.
Got all these ults ready to go, Liquid. So huge team fight.
The building, the tower.
Towards. I mean, the spiders are doing it.
It's dying.
They're going to have to go for the tower tonight. And they're not even going to get that. The spiders end up getting the last hit.
And now
Boxy is going to get caught out by surprise. Tundra's able to move like Shadow move. They're on top of him. The golem's going to get dropped down, but Boxy's already gone. Liquid, they do anything to turn this around. They'll be able to get the grab onto Fada. They'll bring him out. But at the end of it all, it's a 1-for-1. Golem drop. Skia cleans it up. An easy plus 100 gold for the Terrorblade. Tundra, they're taking the tower and they're keeping themselves on 12 minutes in, still a 2k lead and growing for Tundra.
Yep, big win. Just back to the game plan. They take the tower, everybody goes back to doing their own thing. 33 goes back to farming jungle. He is spotted, so Liquid could go for him, but then 9, he goes top 2. Yeah, this is a really clean executed game plan after that laning start here from Tundra, where it's kind of questioning, like, how does Liquid get aggressive? You know, they're kind of starting to get trapped on their side of the map. Sure, Mickey's still getting good farm, but, you know, it's a Luna versus Terrorblade matchup. This Terrorblade's going to come out on top if he's in this type of spot.
Oh, we got there looking for that. All the rebuke and the spear both miss. They will get the grab with the vortex. They actually have the damage. They don't 9. He's been able to jump over with the bots. He's in with the stun. That's quite forgone. Boxy's going to be left behind as Fada snaking. They'll chase Boxy into the trees. Tiger will be able to TP out, but Boxy goes down. And this, I mean, moves like that, they're just not going to cut it in the EU qualifiers. This is looking rough for Liquid already. Tundra's starting to really open them up at just 13 minutes in.
Absolutely, and you can't make those type of, like, these mistakes, they compile very quickly, right? When they use that chaotic offering in mid, now you're not going to have it for the next, like, 3 minutes or so. So Tundra's just got so much availability of the map when they're looking for these sneaky plays, and we did mention early, that's exactly how Tundra's draft is playing. You know, they've got Moonlight Shadow, they've got Nyx, they've got Brood, they've got so many ways to swing around the map quickly. That's Mickey.
Straight up top. Always out range of the stun. Okay, he'll be able to step away.
Close.
Scary territory.
Radiant's bottom tower
pushing
is
out.
under
Know
attack.
that Nice will be very quick to play aggressive across the
Denied.
map, able to take away some potential gold there from Liquid with the tower denied.
The biggest scary thing for me really is that a lot of their cores are just kind of counteracting. Sure, they've got this great team fight, but there's a Nyx versus the Storm. There's a TB versus the Luna. So these matchups are just difficult for them.
Here we go, Qualifier. Big zip. Going in very deep into the jungle. The Moonlight Shadow's out. Tundra's starting to reposition himself. Fada turns the stun onto Qualifier. Laguna's out. Qualifier gone. Another death on the Storm as Qualifiers game starting to take quite a hit now. 2 deaths back to back.
And they're chasing Mickey.
Sony up. They've got him with the slow. 33's in on top of him. Mickey, he'll pop the ult. He's trying to bring down Fada. He's going to head into the trees. Mickey, can he actually get the final hit off? He can't. As Mickey caught out by a stun. Fada survives. as Liquid, they've just got to get everybody out of it. Insania's trying to head into the trees, but 33 and 9, they're chasing him down. Another catch here for Tundra, as they're starting to crumble. This is a rough one here for Liquid. 15 minutes in, 6k lead. Tundra looking very hot here with this opening.
Yeah, Skeeter just pops meta and goes into the enemy ancient side, starts farming their ancients, and that was such an aggressive Civ going from
just pulled
Qualifier.
straight in, pretty much. I think more than half his mana. Really going for that, and with the Moonlight Shadow, I don't think they actually had any sort of deep sentry ward or vision control. So already fighting into a very difficult scenario. And of course, Tundra, they make everything happen off the back of that. Big kills.
They're winning these fights, and we talked about it. AUI, you know, Curtis was saying there's not really like any team fight in particular on this side of Tundra, just besides their like stuns and coordination and stuff like that.
But
like it's just these small individuals, and they're winning the fights. Yeah. So Liquid, they need to get their shit together, and they need to get their ults coordinated more properly, because right now they're just getting outplayed all over the map. They got to get a combo play coming together. They got to get like a Mars ulti plus the chaotic offering.
Now pressure on Boxy. Set this up here. He's coming in with the blink. Also the jump.
Oh no!
Off the mark. Off the mark, and now Tundra's going to start moving in. The golem will be dropped. Fada will fall. But again, this is sort of the whole team fight from Liquid. They've only killed Fada. That's not enough. And Tundra, they know they're chasing Liquid straight down. Insania, he'll fall. Qualifier coming in with the vortex to grab 9. They'll put the Moonlight Shadow, Skeeter even with the bro move there, sundering 9 back up to full HP. Mickey's gone, getting nuked down by the Laguna Blade. As Tundra, they're just able to one-up Liquid every single move that Liquid's trying to make. And it's these sort of openings that just are not nearly clean enough from Liquid that are hurting them hard every single move they try.
And it's big mistakes, really. That's multiple times now we're seeing Boxy missing the spells, and now quite for top.
Setups there. Yule's Light Strike arrow perfectly timed. Another kill for Tundra.
That is just clean now at this point. In the laning phase, I think that's where it all ended, where it's looking good for Liquid. I think they had 5 kills, and then it's been like 12 kills in favor of Tundra. They're dominating the map, they're dominating the fights, and Liquid's they're missing their spells. Boxy missed the bottom, Spear plus Rebuke. This one, he misses the Spear. The ulti only catches the Nyx inside of it. Same thing for Chaotic Offering. It's all just missing.
And it's just, you know, the Qualifiers game as well, it's, you know, on a Storm Spirit, when this sort of happens, these back-to-back deaths, it just hurts his game so much. He's still trying to scramble towards this Kaya Sanj. It's not going to be easy for him to find himself in a position where he could play as aggressively or even get towards these backlines. You know, it's already at a point where they don't really have heroes in a state that are very killable for Qualifier to start the action on. They've got ways to protect themselves, the tank ability to turn, and a whole lot of stuns. As I said, with the Storm pick, the Nyx, the Lina, of course with the Yule set up into the arrow from snaking, there's so much that's the Qualifier's got to be so careful about when he tries to go in on these fights.
They're all so tanky. Like they're all like 1200 HP plus. The main target that you could go for the squishiest one would be the Nyx, because the Mirana has a mech, and he had an SC.
He's in, but he's straight away. The spike Carapace is there. The Rebuke getting reflected immediately. Boxing a proper Spirit, but the wall's already disappeared.
It's just so ready. Every move they're prepared for. And now Qualifier.
Fada's on him. Qualifier, he's going for the TP out, but Fada's got the stun. Qualifier's escape put to an end. And I mean, what do you do now if you're Liquid? This has got to be pretty demoralizing. You've tried to fight, I mean, easily a handful of times now, maybe 4 or 5, and it's just gone terribly every single time. You've not been able to achieve anything. Each move that you've made, as Tundra, they have, as I said, they just continue to stand on top of them as bottom, and Insania's gone. Tundra just full control of this game, and they're making it look easy here, Tundra.
They are. I honestly think this is one of those where you go next pretty soon, because all your core matchups are countered. You know, you have the Luna versus TB, as we mentioned before, the Storm versus the Nyx, and all these stuns. Sure, you've got all this team fight, but clearly the team fight's not working. The synergy, the coordination is just not there from Liquid, and Tundra is on fire. Like, they're reading all the movements, they're making clean moves around the map. All these wards have been on point, and this is them. Most of the times, I feel like they've been fighting with just like Skeeter shows up with a meta at the end and just like 1 or 2 hits and cleans up the fight. It's been, yeah, pretty much perfect from them.
All 3 cores just in a fantastic position in net worth. As we say to each and every one of those team fights that Liquid aren't able to pull together, you're just upping the difficulty for the next time round you approach it with the lead that Tundra continues to grow against them. These moves are not going to get any easier to make against the strength of Tundra. And the question's got to be asked if you can really make them at all. Liquid possibly have just missed the timing completely this game.
I think so. It's the thing is too is they have all these big team fight ultimates, but the fact they didn't hit them earlier, right? And now they've gotten so many items on Tundra. Like you mentioned, everyone's so tanky. They've got Pipe, they've got Mech, they've got Essence Ring. They've got so many different elements to keep them alive. 9 has a BKB and he's level 18. So you can't go for the Lina almost ever unless you 100-0 her before she's able to get out of a stun. Which you're kind of lacking. Sure, you've got the spear, but you have to connect it instantly. And she'll have time to react most times. And I don't know.
What we got?
I just don't know what you like. The itemization for Mickey just gets really complicated too when you're this behind versus a Terrorblade too, because it's like what do you want to get? You have to have your Manta, you have to go for your BKBs just to survive, but then where's your damage going to be coming? It's a tough game after.
And it's just awkward for the Luna as a hero as well, right? Like you pick this carry to sort of just get this super fast timing on the Manta, Dragonlance, BKB, and to start taking down objectives before sort of the other teams got the items online. But with as good of a start Tundra's had with all these fights they've been able to hold Liquid off on and come out on top, that's huge. The Skeeter,
it is.
The money from the Roche and such, he's going to pretty much have the Skadi on top of the SMY and Dragonlance 20 or so minutes in.
Yep, and it really is just it is a straight up counter matchup. You know, that TB versus the Luna. You get the reflection of the Luna, you get more damage. Once you get the Skadi, the matchup is impossible. Like Luna just can't do anything terribly, like ever again. And there's so much burst damage too. That's something I guess we didn't really touch on too much for Mickey.
Down this all out. They're coming in with the Moonlight straight away with the arrow. They open up on a Qualifer's gone. So's Insania. Tundra just not giving any room for Liquid to achieve anything whatsoever.
They're looking for the next target too. It's an instant smoke afterwards. Still mattered.
They just walk straight in. Start beating them back here as Mickey and Poxy have to stay away from the tower. The pressure's coming in. The meta, they'll be able to push onto this tier 2. Nothing Liquid can do to push them back. They don't have anything that's going to allow them to approach Skeeter right now.
Middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, they're just so far behind. It really is just so difficult. Mickey has to instantly Manta every time for reflection, and then he just gets instantly Silken Bola, so he can't even hit. Mickey?
Oh!
That was close.
That's the spirit!
He's lucky to get away there. Moments sooner and 9 would have had him with the Yules.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it's 23 minutes in, and this is going to be their final tier 2 going down, folk.
Where's Boxy? I guess Boxy's just taking him for a walk. They're just doing some creep cutting shenanigans. We saw Taiga bottom lane trying to cut the bottom wave too. Boxy going to meet up toward his team. Gem on Fada too. Didn't point that one out, but we were mentioning how limited vision was already the name of the game for Liquid most of this time. Even more so now.
Yeah, Liquid just trying to achieve something here, just playing as individuals. As you say, cutting creeps,
Mickey
trying to hold on, but Mickey's all on his own. He's all on his own down bottom. They've found him, they've got him. That's the carry going down. Slowly but surely, and yeah, even just sort of holding back abilities there. Fodder not even throwing out any of the spells, didn't need to. Knows that they were going to be able to slowly kill Mickey without any chance for Liquid to do anything.
This feels like they've never been able to actually even like play the game where they get their ults connecting and like it's like, okay guys, TB has no meta, let's look for a fight, right? It just feels like that's never even been a situation that Liquid's been in. It's just all Tundra. 17k gold lead, full map control. Age is still for 2 minutes. Liquid trapped in the base.
Yeah, this is wild. I mean, Tundra. Now, this is the sort of Dota that if you're able to pull this out at this level as Tundra is, You know, you can tell this team is very geared up and ready for the qualifiers. You know, we've already had it in one best of 3 for them, but here, turning up against Liquid, and in this first game, they're making Liquid look sort of a tier below. They really are. This is just it's just been a pure outclass so far this game.
Look at our stat right there. Of the 418 games part of Liquid, this is the 6th time where Quake and Nick are both without a kill at the part of the game. That just says it all.
It really does. This is
Radiant's top tower.
It's a performance that Liquid's going to have to pick themselves up from pretty quickly going into game 2, as they've got to do something a lot better than this if they want to stand a chance in the EU qualifiers. Tundra just completely handling them here in this game 1.
Yeah. Total cakewalk. And Boxy does get a spear connection on 33.
They're throwing everything onto him. It's not barely a scratch here. 33. Full HP. Tundra, they'll take the racks. They've got the ult. They're going to try something once he leads in. Immediately the stun comes out. They'll drop the golem. But there just isn't the damage here from Liquid. As soon as the ults have been dropped, Liquid, they're the ones having a run. As a buyback will come out from Tiger, Boxy goes down, he'll also buy back here. Tundra still all at full HP. What for having a zip back, they're losing the grab on Fada. They'll bring down the next assassin, but it's a dieback on Tiger. Triple kill for 9 as Tundra bully Liquid back to the fountain. They take the racks, they'll back off. Tundra ready to continue to just move towards the next lane, get the next wave pushed in, and lead towards what so far has been one of the cleanest victories we've seen here in the games of Dota.
Yeah, one of the most one-sided affairs I think I've seen here in a while. Skeeter, sitting in the upbeat.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Tundra will still give them the respect. They'll just back away. They're picking up a lot of gold after that too, picking up BKBs and God knows what else. They're all very rich.
The prize is mine.
They'll chill out.
I mean, for Liquid now, you've got to imagine that they're going to be thinking about what they'll feel comfortable with doing in the second game.
Agreed.
I mean, how do you sort of recover from, because you've got to recover quick, as I say, you know, so much on the line with these best of 3s on this road towards
Radiant's
TI.
bottom tower
You've got to have some sort of big talk or something, big sort of motivational booster after this sort of game 1, as this is pretty much the worst way to start a series.
Yeah, I think one big thing is, of course, like the Brood got left in the pool, but I think Warlock's just too slow of a hero in this map. So, and they did pick the Luna with Terrorblade in the pool, so there's quite a lot of things that did go wrong inside of the drafting, where it's like you can tell
Sure, so
this game is just difficult.
You would put a bit towards the draft.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. This was a pretty big draft point, it feels like, from Tundra. Unless Liquid somehow did just get like huge big team fights, like big team fight connections after that laning phase, it just felt like it was going to be difficult for them. It's just like their cores are countered. That's why I was like, you know, like I said, like the Nyx versus the Storm, the TB versus the Luna.
There we go, sector set of Rex.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Nothing to be done here by Liquid. They've got the ults. Actually, no golem for 30. It's time to go. Now sweep round to the bottom.
They just have to watch. That's like Koifu doesn't have BKB, so he's like, if I zip in, I'm just Yule's and dead instantly.
They're getting mega there. Boxy, he's going to try with the jump in, but he's not going to be able to catch anyone in the arena. Nobody gets caught. Tiger's dead. Boxy goes down. No buybacks on the 2 of them. Tundra resume business, taking the final set of racks here away from Liquid. As they're actually chasing them up to the base. Fada's in with the impel, catches out the Luna. Mikke will be able to get the BKB off, but Liquid, they'll finally tap out. As we did see indeed statistically, one of the worst games that Liquid's ever had here for them, unfortunately. As this was a